Let's go.
Friday. Who doesn't love Friday? A Friday in the summer is better than any other Friday that exists. Full slate of MLB, more NFL preseason. Welcome to Covers' Friday's Best Bets. Heavy on the MLB today, though, but happy to see everybody there in the chat. Jared King, don't like to toot my own horn. Can we take a moment to talk about Josh Daniel Jones, week one starting quarterback pick? Good timing, good supported media, but people still saying that Anthony Richardson still has a chance to be the week one quarterback, and I still don't get it. Daniel Jones didn't play incredibly well in that game, but A-Rich got absolutely blown up, hot coming off the edge, didn't even pick him up, and just crushed. The A-Rich needs to sit and watch some football, and I think it's got to be Daniel Jones. So got in on that at plus 270. Big MLB board today. Before we get to that, hit that like button if you're joining the show. First time, guys, hit that subscribe button if you haven't. Coming off a good day yesterday with some winners. Highest scoring game. Got some messages on X saying highest scoring game. That was my favorite bet of the day. It was maybe one of the easiest. Jumping over to DraftKings today to go back to the market. Guess what? That market doesn't exist today. Strange how sometimes that works in betting. But to talk dingers, to talk more stuff, to talk why the Tigers are slipping and falling, and to talk about maybe some Yankees bets. And is Cam Schlittler's name the worst in all of baseball? Let's bring on the ass man, John Metler. Happy Friday, pal. Cam Schlittler. Nothing wrong with it. But if you, like, my last name was Ingles, people butchered it. You didn't have to, you had maybe one of the easier names to talk about. What do you think Cam Schlittler went through growing up with that name?
I'm sure they had some nicknames for him. I feel like he was one of those guys. I think I had a bet on him, or I had someone to hit a homer off him a couple weeks ago. So you go and look it up and you're like, how do I say this name? Because I'm not entirely sure. Some people, like, it's pretty obvious, right, when you see the names, but his, I was like, let's see how we pronounce it. So yeah, he's one of those tricky names. I think we've talked about this before, but like in sports media, I feel like there's so many sports names. You like hear it over and over and you've never like vocalized it out loud. And then you get on a show and you say a name. You're like, yeah, maybe I don't actually know how to say that name. I might actually have butchered that.
Yeah. Tanner Bybee. We'll get to him today. Always. Chris Contino in the chat saying Richard Fitz is definitely worse. Who was? Oh, no. So I want Richard Fitz to change his name to Dick Fitz, but it was the other Richard this year in MLB. Was it Richard Lovelady that changed his name to Dick Lovelady? There was I forget who it was. The pitcher who changed his name from Richard to Dick. Someone in the chat, let me know who it is. And JPC fourth. I love when the chat and me are online, and we'll get to that for sure. But chat, who's the Richard guy who changed? Yeah, it was Lovelady. Come on, man. Still waiting for his card to come out next year, and that will be put in the collection. I've just kind of monopolized all the Dick name cards. The last one I got was Steven Schartz. That's been added to the collection.
Who does Lovelady play for?
Kansas City. I don't know, some relief pitcher. I think that he might have been traded, but that's where he is. There needs to be a Richard Hurts out there. There's so many out there, and then I think that's where it's going to pivoting to just like once I got them all. It's like Pokemon for me. But they're dumb. Like, I'm dropping a unit on just funny cards because they're hard to get, right? Like, Dick Shiner. Great name. $100 card.
How many cards do you have like that? A lot?
Yeah. Like a whole display worth. And I've said it 100 times, but I still think the funniest joke about it is like, it's my collection. And then slightly morbid when I'm like dying and passing things down to my kids, like last breath, like with my son, I'm like, you can have the Dick cards. And like, it will be a touchy moment when that happens. But big sample size of games today after a 4-pack today. Why don't we have the Washington Nationals San Francisco game up yet? Because San Francisco hasn't announced the starting pitcher. But yesterday, you ever have those bets, Johnny, where you're like, my edge was good, but I don't know how to, I didn't monetize my edge enough knowing it. You're like, how big is this edge? Yesterday, Washington playing the early game versus the Athletics. They had to get on a bird and then go start a series in San Francisco, which might have been the worst schedule spot in baseball. Wishing I got more on it. They got to open up in San Francisco, so I still think it's full fade for Washington. Weird question with no prep for you. And we aren't like Kelly Criterion bettors and stuff like that, but how do you find that you think that this is a bigger edge? I need to go more on this play.
I kind of have like checkpoints for each bet. So like there's like certain things I value. So say there's 10, I'm just making that. But if like all 10 are like check, 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 like it values everything, that's when you come in and you're like, okay, maybe this is like not even just a 1 unit bet. This might be 2 or 3. Like it has everything I value. This is just a rare spot. You don't see it too often. So I would think that's when you like come in, like you're saying, and the spot in the schedule. I feel like spot in schedule is a pretty big fact. That is one of my checkpoints when I look for bets. I feel like it's a pretty big factor that a lot of people don't totally look into. I think for NFL, for some reason, it gets really highlighted.
Yeah.
But like you get like NBA, MLB, like you'll get a team. I remember even, I'm just gonna use them for example because I obviously watch more of their games. Like the Tigers, they had like a double header against the Pirates. I was at it. It got rain delayed midway through. It went into like midnight. I was tired the next day. They flew to Tampa and they got killed that night. I'm like, obviously, like they just played a double header. It's not a great spot in schedule, right? Like double header, rain delay, late in the night. It went to extra innings too, and then you fly to Tampa. It's like, I mean, they are humans. I know they're flying on like commercial, like private jets, but at the same time, you are human, right? Playing the game the next day. So I feel like spot schedule is a big one that you just highlighted there too.
Yeah. Finding a scam is always a good criteria. And that's it. Find the scam. Be a scam artist. Let's go. I'm starting things off talking about money lines, talking about the White Sox, talking about funny names we can't pronounce. Tanner Bybee, under 17.5 outs, plus 140. Plus 140. This is a big price for a road start where he has a 5.5 ERA over 72 innings and is 9-4 to the under. Let's stop pricing the White Sox as an absolute walkover team. As we saw, they gave Logan Gilbert a big run for his money. He almost didn't go 5 innings in that game. And someone was talking in the chat about money line betting is tough in MLB, and that was a tough one. They gave it up, but I think they won ultimately. 6.39 ERA over his last 6 starts, where he has gone over this number just one time. Let's go. Priced in, fading in. We were talking about Skeens yesterday. Obviously, he had a good game, but there's always value betting with bad teams. Yes, the wind's blowing in, and I'll get to that, but Tanner Bybee under 17.5 outs. Plus money, playing that down to plus 115. I'm going to go back to back here. Before we get to your plays, same game, Aaron Savali under 4.5 hits allowed, plus 115. Producer Chris, I don't know if I threw him a curveball there, but this is where I got with Savali under 4.5 hits, plus money in this game. I'm amazed that nobody picked up Savali at the deadline. Last 4 starts, 23 innings, 10 hits allowed. One of the more efficient pitchers in all of baseball. Not more than 3 hits allowed in any of those games. LA, Chicago Cubs, Pittsburgh, and this same Cleveland team. He went 5.2 innings, 93 pitches, gave up 4 runs, but allowed just 3 hits and a walk. Home start, plus. You talk about your plus and your check marks, Johnny. Home start, check. 11.4 mile an hour winds blowing in, check. Savali under 4.5, and I play this to even money. Talking about the Yankees, picked up that big win on Wednesday because things in the Bronx could have been very loud if they had lost that game. They needed 42 or 41 pitches from Bednar to save their bacon. 2.5 games back from Boston, a hefty 6.5 games back from the Jays. Yankees, how are we betting them?
Yeah, I'm going to take the money line today against the Astros. Plus 102 is what I grabbed at FanDuel this morning. You're talking about it. They're like, you talk about sense of urgency. At one point, they were in competition with the Jays for the division. Now you're 6.5 games back. You're behind the Red Sox. You're only 1.5 games ahead the Guardians and the Rangers for the final wild card spot. So when you're talking about like that sense of urgency, they have to manage their bullpen, I would say, differently than other people. They need to like put their foot on the gas. I mean, in baseball, it is kind of a factor, right? It's like if you're a team that's you don't really care and you're tanking, you just throw a pitcher out there and maybe it's 100 pitches regardless of what happens. But that's not really how the Yankees are going to manage. They need wins. And plus 102, I just felt like they in this spot, like I think they're the better. Houston has the better record. I think the Yankees are the better team. I think this should be closer to like minus 135. So I'm going to grab the plus 102. The one thing I did like Cam Schlittler, I knew we were going to mess it up because we're talking about Cam Schlittler. We are talking about it. He's a right-hand pitcher. He is tougher on right-handed batters. And you look at the Astros lineup, it's pretty much like they don't even have a left-handed stick. You kind of fear it's like Altuve, Correa. I'm missing someone. I'm missing a third guy. Oh, Jeremy Pena. Like they're all right-handed bats. So to me, it's just I feel like the matchup's kind of good for Cam Schlittler. Plus 102. Give me the Yankees. Yeah, it's minus 110. Like I said, I seen the chat there. It's all minus 110 now, so it's moved. Usually a good sign. But like I said, I think it like minus 135 is kind of your break even. So minus 110 is fine.
You fudged up the Schlittler, bud.
I knew it. We were just talking about.
You tried to do that professional thing where you said it really quick, where nobody noticed. Yeah, you worry about it too much.
Yeah,
Schlittler, he's fine. He's good. JP in the chat brings up a really good point, and it's a humanizing thing in betting. Crazy to see people happy Anthony Richards got hurt. I think someone posted yesterday on my X, and I said the same thing. You never like to see anybody get hurt and win a bet that way. But I mean, we're pricing injuries into the situation. So like when someone gets injured, it's like, okay, that was in the range of outcomes of why I made this bet. It's not like, wow, Anthony Richardson got hurt. I mean, he broke his finger, fractured or dislocated his finger, whatever. He'll probably still be playing. I don't know if that market will be open, but it's just kind of an aggregate of why. The injury was an aggregate of why. The bet was also made why he shouldn't be there. Anthony Richardson just let that blindside guy just absolutely demolish him. Oh, God, I can't say that. That's clever, but we don't throw that on the air. Well done, chat. But I don't think, like, how would you celebrate it? An injury, right? Like betting an under, seeing a guy get hurt. It's that off branch. Oh, you hate to see it, but I won my bet.
Yeah, I mean, that's part of the factor of betting an under is that that's a possibility, right? It's the same if you bet an over, it goes to overtime. That's a possibility you're taking in when you bet overs and stuff. And when you're talking about like a quarterback or football players, or you can make it about baseball too, if you're looking at like season long futures, there are just certain players who get injured more often. Like if I was betting NBA season long futures, Zion Williamson might be someone I look for an under, although they do average, that doesn't really count. But in football, it's like total yards, right? So if you miss games, it really hurts. Baseball might be total home runs. You miss games, it really hurts. Some guys get hurt. So it's kind of, like you said, it's kind of factored into how you're betting as well.
Yeah, tough to win over with an injured player, that's for sure. That's something I've learned in betting. All right, Yankees money line in there, and let's pile on. Let's pile on the Schlittler here. Over 15.5 outs, plus 115. JPC Fourth was on it as well early. Love to see it. First game of the series, always a good spot to look for volume in pitching because you don't want to deplete a bullpen, and this bullpen has seen a lot of work. Why? Because the Yankees rotation has been a 5-inning and done masterpiece. We saw them versus Texas. 5 innings, 5 innings, 5 innings. And now Schlittler here making his fifth start, threw 92 pitches in his last game. The bat loves this over on just an 85 pitch count, which I think could be low in this spot. 16 outs, 85 pitches from Derek's projection. I think the 85 pitches is low. I think he can get into that 90. K-per inning stuff is there. Houston league average offense. Like I said, 92 pitches in his fifth start could go up. Plus money, play this down to maybe minus 110. I think this has a better than 50-50 shot. So couple plays in that New York game. You got to get to your Tigers. Talking about the Yankees, talk about the Tigers. Still in trouble. But Spencer Torkelson did break out of a 10-game home run slump Wednesday. Going yard. Kyle Hendricks is a name to fade. Has already tagged him in a small sample size. What price are we getting here for Torque Bomb?
Yeah, I'm going to take Torkelson plus 475 to hit home run. I do want to bring up something I've kind of noticed. We would kind of need to track it further. But I do notice, like, when you're looking at weather reports and you're looking at Comerica Park and you'll see like wind blowing in, and you'll see it at a lot of different sites where, they'll say the wind is blowing at 8 miles per hour. You look at, when I'm sitting there in my seats, you look up at like the buildings that like say the GM building is like a really tall building with a flag, it's blowing in. And then you look at the flags in the actual ballpark, they're not moving. So I'm honestly not quite sure. Like, those weather reports are like taking the city of Detroit and then putting it to the ballpark. I'm not so sure the ballpark has the same wind that like you would see on these reports. And I think it does create scenarios where maybe like today, it says the wind's blowing in at 10 miles per hour from right field, and maybe you're getting an extra dollar on this price because of that. So I just wanted to throw that there. I don't know for sure if that's the thing. I've just noticed it like the last handful of games I've been at, the flags in the ballpark have not matched what you're seeing from like weather reports for the ballpark. So something to consider there. But I'm going Torkelson, like you said, plus 475. He homered last game. He's also running hot. He had 4 hits in the 2 games before that. He's swinging a good bat right now. The Tigers as a team aren't, but he is. And like you said, Kyle Hendricks, he has a homer against him in 3 at-bats. Kyle Hendricks also sneaky. He's given up 18 home runs this year. He's given up 12 to right-handed batters. So this is righty-righty, but he's given up 12 of those 18 to right-handed batters and in less at-bats. So give me Torkelson plus 475. I think this should be closer to like plus 325. There's a pretty good edge here.
All right. Good luck, Tigers. It's been an ugly August for sure. Now, you did mention the wind stuff, and we kind of bring it in. And I mean, baseball's tough, and trying to find small edges with wind can be misleading, right? Oracle Park, wow, 11 miles out, blowing out. That doesn't affect the game as much. So sometimes don't be afraid about the wind, because I think in this spot it's priced in. Let's go Baltimore Athletics. Let's go Suganu over 2.5 earned runs. Minus 115. I think this is good down to minus 135, but always in these same situations. It's not a market that's easy to find sometimes. Always go price this versus team total first 5 over 2.5, because Sagano's probably not going to pitch much in that 6th. And you also lose the idea of an earned run and error that absolutely sinks it, because losing this on a play that's ruled an error is the worst. But this game has a lot of over potential. The winds are kind of blowing in, but I think a lot of that's priced in. The bat has him allowed as the most earned runs on the entire slate of any pitcher. Likes the over in this game. He's allowed 3+ earned runs in 8 of his last 9 starts. That one under was versus the Rockies at home. So 6.7 ERA over that stretch. The Athletics offense is very dangerous right now. Lawrence Butler, probably one of the better hits, runs, RBIs. He'll face a righty. He'll hit leadoff. There's a lot to like in that spot. And this game, the Jays game, I'll kind of mention it right after when Johnny gets his next plays, and I'll try to bring up, I got a little round robin with 3 or 4 hitters, one on each side, 4+ hits, runs, RBIs. You kind of get like plus 800 to plus 1500 in this game. I'm targeting 2 guys, and I'll get that out, but like this, and I like it down to minus 135. But as always, take a look at the first 5 team total over numbers. Walker Buehler and Manny Machado. You don't often see when you see the pitcher, hitter, batters stuff. 26 at-bats. The familiarity always lies with the hitter, and you like Machado here.
Yeah, I think I agree with you. I think the familiarity does lie with the hitter. So I'm going to go Manny Machado plus 420 here. Do you think this should be closer to like plus 3? I think it was like 330 is where you thought this should be. You're at Petco Park. Petco Park is supposed to be sunny. Wind blowing out to right field at like 9 miles per hour, which wouldn't be the pull side for him, but it's a good sign that's blowing out. Sometimes it's blowing in there. So you like that for him. Walker Buehler, it's actually a pretty similar thing to like Kyle Hendricks Torkelson, where it's righty. But same thing, like Walker Buehler, I think he's giving up 12 of his 19 home runs to right-handed batters in less at bats. So same thing. He's giving up. It's kind of funny. He's giving up. Left-handed batters are batting like over 300, slightly higher OPS, but he's giving up more home runs to right-handed batters. And we're betting on home runs. We're not betting on someone to get a single here. So that kind of stood out. Felt like the price is good. Weather's good. Like you said, very familiar with him. He has about like 20, like you said, 27 at bats, batting over 300. Doesn't have a homer, but I feel like whenever you're facing the same person over and over again, advantage to the batter. Also, at one point, Walker Buehler was a really, really good pitcher. That's not the version he is now. So I'm going to take Manny Machado plus 420 here.
Boom. Love the chat. Love it. Letting me know what things are. Saganu earned runs minus 130. I said that's when you take a look. Mr. Gerg always on the spot. One of the smarter guys in my community for sure. Love it. Minus 130, but the Athletics team total first five is 2.5. And that first half team total over is one of the hardest markets to navigate and find at different books because it's a funny one. Is it a straight home run bet you're
Yeah,
taking, or are you combining them?
I mean, you can combine them if you want to combine them, but they're both straight bets.
Yeah, just picking 2 home runs a day and trying to hit 2 in a row. That's about as tough as it gets. Yes. So Sugano still minus 115 at Fanatics. Thank you, JPC Fourth. I think that's it. I think when it gets to minus 125, I think that's when you make the pivot on the other side to the team total over. Now, go ahead.
I was gonna say, I wanted to ask you. So I was keeping tabs on the Mariners game yesterday because I had the Julio dinger. Obviously, didn't come through. When you bet like a Logan Gilbert to win the game, and then the bullpen blows it, are you just hate watching the Mariners at that point to be like lose the game because like you don't
done. Checked out.
Yeah.
I was like, but it was so sweaty. I mean,
the ultimate hate watch.
It's one of those markets, the pitchers to win, I think really crankbaits me, and I'm like, ooh, look at this, minus 250 on the money line, but minus 120. And I keep saying it, and I think, oh, it's not priced in properly. A lot of shit has to go right because Logan Gilbert labored through 5. He was cruising, and then 8 pitch at bat, 9 pitch at bat. Luis Robert had his number yesterday, and his pitch count just got up to the point where it's like, it's 2-0, and now I'm sweating Gilbert just to get the 5 innings so he can qualify for the win. And then, boom, crappy wall scraper home run. Boom, crappy wall scraper home run, and it's done. And then you just like, fuck the Mariners. That's it. But I'm not going to hate watch them, but I absolutely hated them. And then talk about Seattle. I had the friggin' Seahawks last night. Plus 185. No, Josh, don't do the plus 6. Let's take them straight on the money line. They tied. That sucks. They gave up double digits there in the fourth quarter. Appreciate it, Mark. This is a great show. Hit the like button, pal. That's what we need. That's our give and take. So let me get to this final thing. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. O'Neill Cruz over 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs plus money today. Running it back, minus 115 yesterday versus Brady Singer. Now has to see Chase Burns. Ooh, he's got that K stuff. Ooh, Chase Burns is nasty. Yeah, but he also gives up a lot of hits, gives up home runs, gives up hard hits. His exit velo, hard hit percentage, bigger than the league average. So, I mean, if you throw hard, you give up hard contact, lefty, righty, like this. And I don't know. I think you could get a little cute on a Friday. I mean, my lottos have been getting a little excessive. You got to watch those sometimes. Don't be lottoing every day. But O'Neill Cruz Jr., 4+ hits, RBIs. Ellie De La Cruz in a good matchup, 4+ hits, RBIs. Put those two together, plus 1,500. Now, I do think, and you can bring Johnny in on this play too. I do think one of my favorite ways to round robin stuff, 4 legs. You group them in 2, 3, 4, half a unit total. So if you're $100 better for units, it's 5 for everyone. You hit, 10 to 10, $500 if you hit 2 at 10, 10 to 1 each. Right? And then you can get some bigger ones there. Like those are the ones that I've won some fun sweats. So today, the idea of taking like a middle of the order hitter on one side, take a middle of the order hitter on the other side, put them at 4+ hits, runs, RBIs, because you get a little bit of a multiplier. I have Ellie De La Cruz and O'Neill Cruz Jr. in that Cincinnati game. That's plus 1,500. The Athletics game that I thought that the bat and projects well for the over. I got Brent Rooker, 4+ hits, runs, RBIs, and Gunnar Henderson. That's plus 800. Now I'm like, okay, where am I going? Let's go Colorado, Arizona. You have to go Hunter Goodman if you're going Colorado. Don't go anybody else. And Corbin Carroll, that's plus 900 on that one. And then going late, going to the Jays game. Yes, it's Scherzer. Yes, it's Clayton Kershaw, but some runs could be coming. I think that wind's blowing out. It's best hitting park, I think, in baseball today. Freddie Freeman, 4+. Bo Bichette, 4+. That's 950. Round robin those guys at 2, 3, 4. That's a Friday lotto. I'll be sitting there trying to beat Freebird on Guitar Hero 2 as my weekend goal, because that's what 42-year-old men do, live in the world of nostalgia. What do you got planned for the weekend, Johnny?
I have a wedding tomorrow, and then maybe just hanging out with the kid. Last night, you'll love this. I mean, he sleeps decently good, but last night he went 7 straight hours of not like nothing, like just asleep. Didn't need to be helped back to sleep. So win some in this household. 7 hours commercial free football right there with the babies last night. So that was good. But got a wedding this weekend. I'm probably betting.
Boom. Baby
probably
going to
looking at-
wedding or no?
No. Not most weddings are like not kids anymore. Like that's I thought our wedding was the same way, but most weddings don't include kids anymore. So
So is that like on the letter, on the invitation? Don't bring your fucking loud kids.
yeah, I think most invitations say no kids, right? Like, or they just don't even get an invite anymore. But we're getting close, man, to like all the sports coming back, right? Like I was looking at things yesterday, and like basketball, football, college football, NFL, like all these things are. I mean, I know it's August, but like before you know it, it's going to be week 0 college football will be here and all those things. So got to get some research time in too.
Oh, and it's going to be Sunday. All right. I need a wide receiver, absolute banger, over 100 yards, 5 guys. I better get a tight end ticket. I better get a running back ticket. That's my weakness. That's my kryptonite. Yes, it's fun to sit there and track your bets and be a straight edge better. But I mean, fucking Sunday comes around and it's just like I already mentioned it. You just have to be careful of the lottos. And I'm saying that, do as I say, not as I do sometimes.
Yeah, well, it doesn't help. I mean, it does help, but like you get those like 50% like touchdown boosts, and you're like, well, I wasn't planning on making a touchdown lotto, but if you're gonna boost it 50%, I'm definitely taking one.
Yep. Yeah, tickets are if you could see something that my that are in my graveyard right now. Full degen, absolutely. All right, beauties in the chat. Thanks so much for another great week. We got a good 5-pack today. Love the board. Hate that there's no afternoon stuff, but it's Friday in the summer. Can't get better than that. Hit the like button on your way out if you haven't already. Back next week, 9:15, more MLB stuff. Maybe do a little NFL preseason, but hey, Derek M, appreciate it. Great stuff. Hey, this show doesn't happen without you guys keeping us on our toes, letting us know where things are, where prices are. That's the most important thing, but can't do it without you. Josh Ingles, Johnny Metler covers his best bets for Friday. See you back here. Have a great weekend.
Let's go.